Despite threatening wildfires and an Air Canada strike, Manitoba athletes shined at the 2025 Canada Summer Games. Team Toba returned home with 34 medals in all, 12 gold, 10 silver and 12 bronze. And joining me now to talk more about that performance is Senior Games Manager Drew Todd. Drew, welcome home.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a long month, but it's nice to be back in Winnipeg.
You know, 34 medals, not a bad haul for our local athletes. I'm curious how this year's performance compares to past years for our province.
Yeah, it's a good question. I was just taking a look through some of the historical data, and I would say we're kind of right on par with what we're used to. We've had a few outliers. Usually when we host our home games and sometimes a little bit of dips, but you know, we're a few little, I'd say 3 less than what we had in Niagara. But when you look across the board at our results, kind of not just at the top 3 finishers, but top to bottom, every athlete we sent, we did a pretty decent showing. So we're okay with that for sure.
All right, let's talk about some of the standout performances over the 2 weeks of competition, because I know there was definitely a few of those.
Yeah, for sure. I think just starting off with our 2 flag bearers, one for the opening ceremony and closing ceremony. So Luke Enns started things off for us in canoe kayak, and he brought home 2 medals, which is really great because being that opening ceremony's flag bearer does carry a lot of weight to it, a lot of pressure, but he definitely rose to the occasion, helped us out. Then on the flip side, with Soren Westlake in cycling, he brought home a gold in mountain bike and then a bronze in road cycling. So the probably terrible joke I was making with him when we selected him there was Manitoba is not exactly known for mountains. And when they talk about our roads, they more talk about our potholes than anything. So maybe he can help kind of change the narrative there. But, you know, it wasn't just those 2. Maxine Lavitt in swimming brought home 5 medals, which was amazing. Dax Turner came back for his second games, brought us 2 medals in athletics. So, you know, we had a lot of athletes that kind of stood out and really made us proud here to be from Manitoba.
Any upsets or big surprises that we didn't expect?
You know, I think our women's volleyball team, they had been coming off a string of gold medals, but this year just because of the days that it worked, and maybe because we're almost too good in volleyball, we had a lot of athletes that had commitments to universities down south, national team commitments, that kind of thing. So they weren't really going in with those same gold medal expectations, but they performed, you know, incredibly. They got to the semifinals and 5th set there, and they unfortunately came out on the wrong side there, but they really brought it for a team that was sort of expected to have a bit of an off year and still finished in the top 4.
You know, interesting you bring that up because I know these games are so important to future accomplishments in sports for these athletes. Can you tell us a bit about what kind of doors a gold medal or a strong performance at these games can open for these athletes?
Absolutely. I mean, it's, you know, first off, I'd say multi-sport games, it only comes around every 4 years. So sometimes athletes don't get the opportunity to attend them, but if they do, it can be huge for them going forward. Once they kind of get onto those national teams, you know, we don't want the Olympic Games to be the first time an athlete is in a multi-sport games, getting used to all the stress, the pressures, all the different commitments that come from a basic single sport competition or tournament. So it's a great experience in that respect along the pathway. And then I think just the other thing is you just look at the background and you see all the athletes that have come through, you know, Sidney Crosby, Kaiten Laws, Cindy Clausen. Clearly, this is a very rare opportunity for all the best athletes in the country to get together at the same time. So there's scouts there in place that maybe aren't always able to come to all tournaments. You know, people see the results, see the media gets a little bit more engaged with something like this, and you get a little bit more notoriety to hopefully propel you into some of these extra next generation programs.
Now, I know these games also foster a real sense of provincial pride. I've been watching all kinds of videos shared over the past 2 weeks of Manitoba athletes, you know, proudly waving our province's flag after a big victory. Any examples of this that stand out over the 2 weeks you witnessed that you can share with us?
You know what, I would probably look at our pep rallies each week. That's the best one there. I know it's been a little bit challenging for fans to get out to Newfoundland based on a number of different incidents, but within our athletes and coaching community there on the Rock, they were pumped, they were psyched. Each week we do a pep rally where we get every single athlete together and every team is responsible for a team cheer. And just seeing some of the creativity, ingenuity, everybody going crazy for whether it's sailing, golf, soccer, volleyball, they're pumped up and they're ready to be proud Manitobans there. So that was a really fun time.
Well, a huge congratulations to all the Manitoba athletes who competed, represented our province. You made us all very proud. Drew, thanks for sharing some of the highlights with us and letting us be part of the team. It was great speaking with you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks for following along.